I'd like to thank 9459 Advocates for sponsoring this video today. They're a nonprofit that is built on caring and truly an empathetic foundation. Their goal is to provide a safe and comfortable place to heal. They offer everything that you may need while on your journey to healing. With their large network, everyone that you encounter will be a part of their team and will quickly become a familiar face. Thank you again to 9459 Advocates for sponsoring this video.
Allow me to introduce myself. Lakeisha. I'm sorry, and I changed my name, but what I changed it to means trustworthy, faithful, reliable, protected. Yeah, that fits me better, and I'm a survivor. On May 18, 2019, I was blessed enough to walk away with my life full of color. See, on the outside looking in, it was hard to understand, and from the inside looking out, it was hard to explain. My life was so black and white. I was depressed, my self-esteem was extremely low, but from the outside, you would never have been able to tell. But on the inside, I was a mess. I was who I was until who I was almost cost me my life.
This is Nessa. So today, y'all, we are doing a different kind of video. Everybody knows this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I did tell everybody, if you watched my last vlog, that I had a special guest coming. My girl Kisha is here to tell her story of her life with dealing with domestic violence. So this is a different kind of video. There's no cooking in it. I did cook her some food, so she's still gonna eat good. She's still gonna eat good, but we're not cooking today. I'm just so happy that, Kisha, that you had the courage to come. I'm so happy that you are gonna be vulnerable to this situation and really share this with the world, because we don't know who gonna see this. But we want the message to get out there because it's so important. And I was just thinking about this earlier, that before we went through this, you would see cases about this, and it's like you would see it and it hurts, and you had empathy for people, but you would go on with your life. But now, being through this situation, when you see stuff like that, it like hurt your gut. It's just like, because you done been there. So it's totally different. So a lot of people don't maybe understand the whole movement behind DV, and I was looking at your post the other day. I actually reposted it about the statistics of domestic violence, and I'm gonna actually put a clip of it in here so that they can see it. This is happening a lot.
It is.
And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have the domestic violence hotline number, the national line. I'm gonna probably put it across the screen and down in the description, and I'm gonna have the one for Cleveland for people that's here where we are, so that you can have somewhere to reach out to. You have to reach out to those hotlines. You have to. It's hard. You can't really put your family. You can tell your family, you can tell your friends, but you need to reach out to those hotlines, because they actually can tell you the way to do it. You cannot pull family into it. You cannot pull friends into it, because innocent people get hurt. They get killed in these situations. So it's very necessary to use those hotlines.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So just please look at those numbers. Also, share this out. If when you see this, share it out to your family, to your friends, to somebody that you know that may be going through this. Like Kisha told me the other day, if she could just touch one person with this, just one person, we're doing something. And I know this story is going to reach more than one person. I know it is, And I'm just so happy that you came and said yes to me, because I didn't know. I just said, I had said it on one of my videos. I said, I want to ask my friend, but I don't know. And one day I just said, I'm just going to ask her. All you can say is no. And I would understand, you know what I mean, if you wanted to say no. So I'm just so happy that you said yes. Her story is very touching. and heartbreaking. So if you have triggers, please click off of this video if something is triggering you. You know, I want you to still have a safe place to come here and watch, but I don't want to, you know, reset something off. Right. So if you have those triggers, please click off of this video. So me and Kisha, just to give a little background, we worked together. We used to work together at the hospital, at the ER. We had fun in the ER.
Yes, we did. Those was the days.
Yes, those was the days. But we became very good, close friends. And, you know, I saw her family grow up. Like, her kids are, they ain't kids no more. She got grandbabies, you know, so we been in each other's life. Even though we don't work together anymore, we're still really good friends. And we don't talk every day, but she knows she can always reach out to me.
Right.
And
vice versa.
Yes. And I don't remember if you maybe saw something on social media or saw me on the news that made you call me and tell me about your story, because it was like out of the blue. It messed me up, and I was just like,
I think it was the story about your friend, your best friend.
Because my whole situation happened, the beginning, my situation was January 16th of 2017, and we found her May 1st, 2017. So when did this happen with you?
This happened May of 2019.
Okay, so it was a couple years. So it may have been like around the time that we actually had went to court. For you know, her ex-husband. So I think,
you know what? I think it was that. I think it was something like the court proceedings.
Yes, and because it was on the news, so I didn't know, and it was on Facebook and stuff. So I didn't even know that you knew that story. You know, I knew some people that worked at the hospital with me knew, but I didn't know, you know, who all knew. So you know, it floored me when you called me. But I was so happy that you reached out to me and talked to me, and you broke my heart. But I'm gonna let you talk about it. So maybe we should just start like with how you met. I don't even know what we're not gonna use his name, but
well, he don't have a name to me no more anyway. I just call him Stupid.
Okay. So. Okay. So well, how did you meet him, and how did that all start?
So, I really knew him my whole life for real.
Okay.
We grew up in the same, you know, neighborhood.
Okay.
I knew him like way before I even started having kids.
Oh, wow.
Like, he had been chasing me, but I always was like, you know, no, and blew it off or whatever. Once we got old, like, cause he older than me, like only a couple years, but he older than me. He kept pursuing me. We bumped into each other one day. We hung out. That was that. May of 2014, I lost both my grandparents.
Oh, wow.
Well, my granddad passed in March. Grandma passed in May.
Okay.
So it was just like
I kind of remember that. Yeah, I kind of remember
I was just really like in a messed up state, you know, to lose both grandparents 60 days apart. Yeah. I was just really like in a messed up state or whatever, and we ran into each other again. Hadn't seen him in years. Okay. And you know, so if anything, I thought more of him as a friend. You know what I'm saying? Because we grew up in the same neighborhood, been knowing each other since we was kids, you know. So we ran into each other, exchanged numbers. We started hanging out like really, really tough. So I just really thought, you know, I was in a place then where I was vulnerable because of what was going on, you know, in my family. So I was just thinking like, this is like almost like a safe haven. You know what I'm saying? To take my mind and distraction off of what was going on in your life. You know what I'm saying? So that's really how it all started. I don't want to get too much into his personal life.
I understand that.
But that's pretty much how our story started. After that, we hung out. Then we started dating. Then he moved in. September of 2014, he proposed. I had a fish fry at my house for my birthday. He proposed. So I'm like, oh, okay. Like, you know,
and how long had y'all been together? Like officially, like, you know, like
probably
a couple.
like maybe 60 days, maybe.
So it was quick.
It was quick.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. So, but you know, I wasn't thinking like, I'm just like, this is my friend. Like, I knew him my whole life down there. Yeah. So, like, I had a fish fry at my house, and you know, he proposed in front of my family, kids, friends. So it just, you know, it went from there. It kind of just went from there. But shortly after that is when I started seeing like the red flags.
After the proposal.
Yeah, after the proposal. Me not thinking that he was really like that. Because I had known him for so long.
Did you know like anybody that he dated before or anything?
No.
Okay. You just knew him from the neighborhood.
Yeah. I didn't know like his kid's mother or you know, none of that. So
okay.
So yeah, the red flag started. But I kind of like pushed it, you know, pushed it back because I'm thinking like, well, maybe it's just a fluke. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know him to be that type of person. So, it was an incident where a girl came to my house. She didn't actually come to my house, but she sat outside my house.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm leaving for work one morning, and she was sitting outside, and I recognized the car, and, well, I recognized her in the car. So I'm telling him, like, if she following me to work, it's going to be a problem.
Right.
Get your pink.
So you recognized that she was out there before you left.
Right.
Okay. Okay. And what did he have to say about that?
He just was like, I don't know why she would be over here, and she don't know where we live at, and so I'm just like,
and this was your place initially before, so
right.
Yeah. Okay.
So, well, no, we moved in that house together.
Okay, got you.
So he just was like, she shouldn't be over here. She don't even know where we live and all this and that. So I'm like, okay, I'm just telling you. But when I got to the end of the street, I seen her turn around and was like, follow me. So I'm just telling him, like, if she follow me at work, it's going to be a problem. So she ended up turning off or whatever. So, again, I don't want to get too into his,
I can understand
personal
that.
Life or whatever. But anyway, he claimed he checked her and all this and that, whatever.
So she didn't follow you all the way?
No,
Okay.
No,
Okay.
So, after that, the red flags just kept appearing.
Like, what, do you mind sharing? Like, what were some of the red flags that you saw?
He was a big Facebook person.
Okay.
So, he was always on Facebook. And, you know, I don't have a problem I'm not insecure. You know, I don't have a problem with social media or none of that. But it was just like, it was a kind of like a sneaky type of thing. So I kind of like, you know, tried to brush that off too. But you know, with us women have an intuition. That gut, when you get that gut feeling, don't ignore it.
I talked about it in my video. That is one of God's greatest gifts to women.
Yeah.
Your intuition.
Yes.
Don't sleep on it.
No, please don't.
Sometimes we could go a little bit overboard. I'm a Gemini, so I can.
We
But
can't
9 times out of 10,
it's on point.
It's on point.
Absolutely.
Yes. So you felt like something wasn't right when he was on that Facebook, social media.
Yeah. So and it was just other stuff too. Like I just felt like he had somebody in my house one time. It was just a lot. It was a lot.
So you felt like it was like a cheating thing?
Yeah. It was definitely a cheating thing.
My ex was a compulsive cheater.
Yeah, he was
compulsive.
Yeah. And
we as women have to understand when you deal with women like that, men like that, it has nothing to do with you.
Us. Yeah.
Nothing to do with you. It's them. It's something that they're dealing with, something that they're lacking in their life.
Or lacks
Yeah, because a lot of women feel like, what's wrong with me?
And I was there. Yes, I did that.
It has nothing to, and that's just a natural reaction if somebody is doing that to you and you feel like, what are you doing wrong?
Yeah.
But it's not you. Trust me, it's not you.
It's not.
Yeah, because they'll do it to whoever. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay, continue.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
Because he was a compulsive cheater. Like, so time went on. May of 2015, we got married. Again, like the red flags was there. I just chose to ignore them.
Like we do.
My family didn't know about the marriage initially. My oldest daughter came and to the courthouse with us.
Oh, they didn't know when y'all. They knew he proposed, but they didn't know that y'all actually went and tied the knot.
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah. So we got married at the courthouse or whatever. We didn't have a wedding. It was just like at the courthouse or whatever.
I remember. I remember when you got engaged and everything. I remember seeing the post.
Yeah. The very next day after we got married, I called him on Facebook with the same girl he said shouldn't have been outside, shouldn't have knew where we lived at.
Wow.
So by that time we had moved into an apartment. And I'm just like, dude, like, what are you doing?
The next day.
The very next day. Very next day. And it just went all downhill from there. Yeah. Like, after the I do, it just went all downhill from there.
So it was like a grooming.
Yeah.
A grooming period.
Yep. Yeah. He became very controlling. I kind of lost a lot of people that I really cared about, because he would just if I tried to go out and he would pop up and just show out, and it was a lot. And we would get into it because he got caught doing something. He would try to take everything that he bought. He didn't kick in doors. Tried to run me over.
Oh wow. Did he ever physically put his hands on you, or was all just non?
It was all. He never physically touched me. Never physically, put his hands on me. It was all verbal. But just from my experience with that, verbal can be way more worse than physical. Yes. Because he verbally and mentally abused me. Yes. And that's way worse than...
Women need to know that.
Yeah, it's way worse than a slap or a punch or a kick.
Because it gets to you.
Yes, it does. It does. And to this day right now, I'm still trying to get over the mental and the verbal. Not really so much as the verbal part of it, but the mental part of the abuse that I endured for 4 years. We was married for 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And it kind of went on for 4 years.
So in between that part, did your kids, did they like him? Did they recognize that something wasn't right? Or did family members try to say something to you?
Well, in the beginning, everybody liked him because he's a manipulator. He's very much so a manipulator. So he can make it seem like it's something, for the people that's on the outside looking in. You know what I'm saying? But it really was something else on the inside.
Yes.
So he was he's a great manipulator. I tell anybody, if it could have been an Oscar, he would have won it. Because he was he's a very good manipulator.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, everybody did like him or whatever. Everybody was cool. Yeah. But then everybody noticed the difference within me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then I used to call my family and talk to them and tell them certain stuff. And that was a mistake that I made. Not so much as a mistake, but I learned too, when you going through something with somebody, you know, some things you have to keep to yourself. Because even if it's, you know, something small, and you calling to talk to your family about it, they not going to remember that it's a small thing. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So when y'all are back good, the family don't
still
like
looking
them.
at him like, you piece of shit. You know?
Yeah, they looking at him sideways.
That is so many facts.
Yes.
Yeah, people say that when you get married, you cannot go tell everybody your business.
No, you can't.
Yeah. People don't forget, especially people that really genuinely love
care
you.
About you. Yeah.
They're not going. They just not going to take a side eye because they don't love them like that. They only love them because you love them.
Exactly. Yeah. So then it came like my brother stopped talking to me.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Me and my brother didn't talk for a whole year.
Oh wow.
Because of him, because he tried to run. I want to go off into details about that, but he tried to run us over. Oh, wow. Not my brother, but you know. So my brother,
From that point, he knew he wasn't.
Yeah. Some of my family didn't talk to me either. But it was like, once it got too deep into it, and like I said, it was never physical abuse. Yeah. But the things he said, the things he did, it was mental abuse. Yeah. And it was like every time I tried to leave, he would always do. It was like I was scared to leave. Yeah. Because he would go and tell my kids like what he was gonna do to me.
What would he tell them?
So he went to my daughter's house, my oldest daughter's house one day, and told her that he was gonna set a fire at the back door and the side door while I was in the house so that I couldn't get out.
Oh wow.
So yeah. So, not that made it any better or as an excuse to stay, but I stayed to protect my kids. And to protect me also, because no matter what I did, where I went, or where I would want to go, he knew where everybody lived at. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And that's powerful what you just said right there, because that's a lot of people's reason for not leaving, because they don't know where to go.
Yeah. I didn't know where to go. He knew where everybody stayed at. Yeah. So, you know, it was like, where am I gonna go? Where can I go? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? To get away. Like
and that's the reason, not to cut you off, why a lot of times these abusers shun people away, because they want to sever those relationships so you don't have
nowhere to go. Yeah. That's exactly I literally didn't have nowhere to go. So I met a friend and I stayed at their house for 3 months.
Oh wow.
I couldn't even stay at my own house where I paid rent at. Yeah. But that was like, you know, towards the end. Okay. But it was like I couldn't stay at my own house where I paid rent at, because he literally harassed me. Like to the point where one time I was at my daughter's house, and this was when I was trying to leave. I was trying to get away. He pulled up down there for whatever reason. I don't know if somebody rode past and told him I was down there. I don't know how he knew I was there. But I was at my daughter's house, and he rode past, seen me, called my phone private, of course, because he knew I wasn't answering his calls. So he would call private, and I answered because my brother used to call private. So I answered, and it was him saying what he was going to do to me. And then I look up and I see him coming down the street, so I pull off. He literally chased me down St. Clair. St. Clair, rather. Wow. Telling me he was going to shoot me and just all types of stuff. The list goes on and on. Yeah. Like, he had a whole relationship outside of our marriage. Some girl that he was dealing with. Every morning I'd go to work, he went to her house. When I would leave and go to work, he left and went to her house. Wow. Every single morning. It was like he was dealing with people that was right in my face. Like literally right in my face.
Because he had no respect.
No respect.
None. And he didn't care.
Nope.
It was like that's trying to taunt you to a certain degree. You know?
Yeah. I remember one time we went out, and this older man had came up to the table. Me and his cousin was sitting, and he wasn't trying to talk to me or her. He was really just telling us that he was trying to talk to another girl and how she reacted to him. And we laughing. He seen it from way across the room somewhere and came storming over there.
Wow.
I'm sorry, it embarrassed me so bad, but that's what he always did to me. I remember I would go one time to one of his family functions, and we wasn't talking, but they wanted me to come, but telling me that he wasn't gonna be there, and so when he ended up popping up, I left. I was, leaving or whatever. I get out to my car, and he followed me out there, of course, and poured beer all in my face.
Oh wow.
He poured beer all in my face, all over my car. Then I tried to hurry up and pull off. He threw the beer bottle at the back of my car. Like,
so he didn't have any problem doing this in front of people?
Oh, no.
Wow.
No. Nope. Well, nobody was outside, in the front because the function was.
But like when y'all was in the function, I was just thinking about how you said he came up and embarrassed you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm talking about it. The stories go on.
Yeah.
Like it was so.
Yeah, you went through this for 4 years.
4 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
4 years.
I didn't even know you guys were married that long. It just seemed so quick,
Yeah.
But
yeah, we was married for 4 years. Like I said, at the end, like in between those 4 years, he cheated so much. I didn't call him at hotels. That's what it was then. It was what it was now. But I went through a whole lot.
Yes, I'm so
a whole lot. To the point where I was mentally destroyed. Like destroyed. Wow. Like I said, at the end, I was trying to leave. I had a restraining order against him in Cleveland. For when he chased me. I had a restraining order against him in Euclid because. So
you have to get separate.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So for people that's watching, Euclid is a suburb of Cleveland. So yeah.
Yeah.
So each suburb you gotta get. So we got a lot of suburbs.
Yeah. So like if wherever the incident happened.
Yeah. So if you was in Warren, you would have had to have one in Warren.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So the incident where he chased me up St. Clair, it happened in Cleveland, so I had to get a restraining order in Cleveland. I can remember going to court, talking to the detectives and all that. They gave me a restraining order that the prosecutor talked to me, and she, they wanted to put me in a shelter. And I'm thinking to myself, like, a shelter? That's open access. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to a shelter.
Was it a domestic violence shelter or just a regular?
No, a women's shelter.
Yeah.
And I'm just telling her, like, I'm not going to a shelter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a no-go for me. Like, that's open access. He can just walk in there and do whatever he want to do to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So, like, my resources was really limited of, help or what. Because, like you said, and I'm a firm believer of not putting my family in my stuff like that because, like you said, people get hurt and killed like that. So I'm a firm believer of not putting my family in my business like that. Because I could have easily, went to a cousin's house or, you know what I'm saying? But that's
you already knew what his actions were. Yeah. He didn't really care.
He didn't care.
Yeah.
And he would have came to their house. So, I stayed at home that time, and he harassed me. Like,
so at this point, were y'all separated or okay? So how far into the marriage was this?
This was year, maybe 3.
Okay.
When the Cleveland incident happened. Okay. And I tried to leave. And
was that your first time really trying to actually leave?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would make him leave all the time. He told me he did something, I would make him leave. Yeah. But this time I can remember just praying to God. It was to the point where I wanted to die. Yeah. Just so that I wouldn't be in that situation, because I knew once it started getting to the point where he kicked in doors and tried to run me, I knew it was gonna end bad. Yeah. I knew it was gonna end. I didn't know how bad, but I knew it was gonna end bad. Yeah. I knew it was. So after the Cleveland incident, I went home. I stayed at home. and I was terrified. Cause I just felt like I was vulnerable. You know, I was open to him doing whatever he wanted to do to me.
And the restraining orders,
it's nothing but a piece of
really
paper.
It's a piece of paper. Like, and I think that's part of what something maybe we can work on. I don't know how. Yeah. But the police, they really don't help.
They don't.
They do not help in these situations.
A living witness of that. Like I can't really say, so I'm going to finish because I'm going to get to, like, so the Cleveland part, I never had to call Cleveland police on him because I didn't live in Cleveland. I lived in Euclid. But, you know, like I said, the incident happened when he chased me happened in Cleveland. So that's why I had to get that. Yeah, that's why I had to get that restraining order from. But he came to the house and bam on the door and stuff. I wouldn't let him in. He kicked the door in. So I literally had to hide in the bathroom downstairs, lock myself in and call 911. What I can say is Euclid don't play. They 2.5, they was there. But he know that. So, you know, he hurry up and get the fuck up out of there. But that's when I had to get the restraining Euclid restraining order on him. They wasn't I ain't gonna say it was real friendly, but they weren't. All of them wasn't mean either, you know. So, because one of them went to the extent of fixing my door, so that it was, you know, lockable again.
Yeah, Euclid don't have such a great reputation, but
like all of them wasn't assholes. The one I don't remember his name, but he did take the time to fix my door so that it was lockable, you know, again. Or whatever, and they had me pack up. Well, not that incident. That was I'm saying it's a lot.
So many.
Yeah. So that was that. I then moving out of that house into another house. And that by that time, of course, we was back together. So we moved in another house, and that's when they got like closer to the end. That's the house where he actually told my daughter he was gonna set the fire. He literally harassed me in that house. I'm talking about harassed me.
So he would call them and tell them what he was gonna do.
No, he went to my daughter's house and told her that.
So they were terrified of him too, I would assume.
Yeah. When it got to the end, we lived in this specific house. It's the house where I literally had to leave for 3 months. I still pay rent, still pay my bills. I had to get my kids my truck because if he seen my truck, he used to ride the city to look for me. I to the point where I had to tell my job what was going on because he started threatening to come to my job because he couldn't find me for 3 months. And then, you know, I got tired of being where I was at. I wanted to go home, like to my own house with my own bed. So I went home one night, and but before that incident, in between like everything, I had got and I went and got a good. He came. I went home, and me and my son went home, and he came like. He stalked this house. We wasn't even in this house 10 minutes.
Wow.
And I had my son like checking the windows to make sure all the windows was, you know, locked and, you know, secured or whatever. He literally called my phone private like, I see you got him checking the windows. We weren't even in there 10 minutes.
That's so scary.
We weren't even in there 10 minutes. He was calling my phone telling me that he seen my son checking the windows.
Wow.
So I ended up staying in there anyway because I was just tired, like I was ready to fight. I was so tired. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Mentally just drained.
Yeah, I was mentally
of being
drained.
in fear.
Yeah.
Because the anxiety and the fear that had to be in your just over the years. Yeah. This is like...
It was terrible. Like, I was terrified of him. I was terrified of him. Like, it was so many incidents. Like, if I had to literally sit here and say all the stuff that I went through, we would be here all night.
Can I just ask, did he have like was he a drinker, like a alcoholic, no substance abuse or nothing?
Nope.
Wow.
No. But when he did drink, that intensified it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He wasn't a drinker. He wasn't an alcoholic. Like, he drink. Yeah, he did drink, but he wasn't an alcoholic.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But when he did drink, to the point it intensified. You know, situations that, and it made him like 100 times worse.
Yeah.
So that night I stayed home anyway. And I just told my son, like, you know, just leave. Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't want him there. Yeah, I told him to just take my truck and leave. So I ended up staying there. I was by myself. I was terrified. And again, no sleep, because he kept coming there trying to break in.
Wow.
I literally called Euclid police at least 5 times that night.
Wow. Until
it was like, he would park his car on the next street. It was a cut behind the house. He would come through that cut. He tried to break in. Then the one time he was throwing rocks at the window, and I look out the window. He literally standing in the driveway dressed in all black, telling me he was gonna kill me. Kept telling me he was gonna kill me. He before he let me leave him, he would kill me and kill himself. And it got to the point where I believed him. Mm-hmm. Like, I really believed him. Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you?
Saying he ain't had nothing to lose. Like, it was.
And all doing this, he messing with other women.
Yeah. Yep. Doing this whole ordeal.
I wonder if he was doing anything to them. Like, you know.
I don't know.
It was like he was just obsessed.
Yeah.
With torturing you.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I called Euclid so many times that night till the last time, the time before the last time, the sergeant came. Mm-hmm. And he, you know, of course they had ran my name, because you know, when you have a license, when they run your name, it pops up. See it. Yeah. Euclid so many times. The last time the sergeant came, and he was just like, he like, don't you got a carry, you know, concealed weapon license? I'm like, yeah. Mm-hmm. So he like, do you have a weapon in the house? So I'm like, yeah. He like, protect yourself. Period. Like, protect yourself. And you know, like, yeah, I had the gun, and yeah, I got it for protection, but did I really have the heart to?
I already know.
Pull the trigger, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I don't want to be.
Because you're not that person.
Exactly.
But
yeah, like, no, I don't want to be hurt. You know what I'm saying? But I also don't want to hurt somebody else, because that's just not me. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, needless to say, it was like he was somewhere. I don't know how he was. I don't know. Yeah. But he knew when they was calculated. Gone.
Like he knew what to do.
Yeah, he knew when they was gone. Soon as they would leave, he would come right back to the house. Right back, to the point where they was so pissed that they couldn't catch him. Yeah. To the point where the last time they came, they just told me, like, pack a bag. Like, we taking you somewhere. Like, you got somewhere to go. He like, we not leaving you here. Yeah. So, I had to end up going over my daughter's house.
They couldn't get fingerprints to see that he had been there and he had a warrant against him to arrest him or nothing.
Nope, they ain't doing none of that.
Wow.
Nope. Again, the restraining order is
very limited.
A piece of paper.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and most predators, they don't care about that.
They don't.
Yeah.
I don't urge women not to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because it is a paper trail.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So if you ever in a situation where you had to protect yourself, it's on file, you know, that this is, you know, the situation, this is what's going on. So if you ever had to get a restraining order, I would still say get it.
Get it, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Even though it's limited to everything, it's really only a piece of paper saying don't do this and don't do that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I wouldn't say don't do it though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that.
That's good information for people, because me myself, I'm thinking, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know, but you're so right that it's still a paper trail.
Yeah, it's a paper trail.
Yeah.
You know, if you ever had to get to the point where you had to protect yourself, you know what I'm saying? It's on file, like, this is what's happening, this is what's been going on, I done did this, I done did that, you know what I'm saying? Now to the point where I gotta protect myself.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Had
he had any history, do you know, of this before?
Well, later on in the marriage, I found out that, he did.
Okay.
Yep. I thought about elaborating on that, but I don't want to get, you know, too personal to his life.
I get it. I did the same thing in my video. I didn't, because that's not your story to tell.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
People can pretty much figure it out.
Yeah. So I had to end up, once they took me to my daughter's house, well, of course he didn't know I was over there because I wasn't driving. But he before this, like when I first left and gave the kids my truck, like my son went to my oldest daughter's house, he went over there, he took the sticker off the truck. He took the sticker off, he trashed the truck, poured motor oil all over the inside of it. Yeah. At the end, the truck ended up getting caught on fire in my sister's driveway, and I still to this day believe he did it.
Yeah, for sure.
It literally, the truck was in flames in my sister's driveway.
Wow.
Yeah. I still to this day believe that he did it. Oh, to back up a little bit, he when it's like first started at the end when I was trying to leave before I gave the truck to the kids, he came into when I made him leave, when I initially made him leave, he came back there that night and cut the line on my truck. I don't know if he tried to cut the brake line, but he ended up cutting the power steering line.
So
so I couldn't move. Yeah. So like I said, if I could just sit here and
it's just countless.
Yeah, countless situations, countless like incidents. It was bad. So at the end, like I said, the lady who I was renting from, she ended up letting me move into another house. Okay. Because like I told her the situation, and I wasn't staying there because of the situation. So she ended up letting me move into another one of her houses. So, he had went to jail. Euclid had ended up getting pulled over for something, and they seen Euclid had the warrant for him, so he ended up going to jail. So I literally had to move in one day. Like, and again, I wasn't there, so I couldn't pack. Yeah. I literally had to go in there and just throw all my stuff in bags and hurry up and leave. Before he got out of jail. Him. Yeah. Yep. So I literally had to move in like a day.
How did they call you and let you know they arrested him? Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, they told me. Yeah. So, and then I found out when I was moving that he tried to talk to the lady right next door. Wow. The neighbor. Like, because I lived in a duplex. Yeah. Yeah, the lady right next door.
So, connected to you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. That's deep.
Yeah. I'm talking about, it was, it's so much more than that. Yeah. Like,
I'm sure.
People that was right in my face. That laughed and grinned and hee ha ha right in my face. Wow. It was horrible.
Yeah, that's
so horrible.
Sad.
Yeah, it was horrible. And like stuff like that tears you down as a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like you said in the beginning, it makes you feel like, well, what did I do? Or what am I not doing?
What's wrong with me?
Yeah, it tears down your self-esteem to the point where, I know for me, it tore my self-esteem down to the point where I didn't want to do nothing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I have a very, I'm very good at masking, my pain, what I'm going through. Yeah. So people who didn't know me.
What we do as women, because we just know how to keep going.
Yeah. And that was always my go-to, like when my dad passed, when my kid's father passed, my grandparents, it was just keep going. Like I always felt like if I sat down and I stopped, I wasn't gonna get back up. Yeah. So that was my mind frame. Always was to just keep going. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up moving out of that house. I stayed there for a year. I know it probably sound like I moved a lot, but this was like in a 4 or 5 year span. Mm-hmm. So she let me move into another one of her houses, but I just knew that he knew my pattern because we stayed in Euclid together. Mm-hmm. So I ended up moving out of Euclid, and I moved out of Warrensville. Mm-hmm. I moved to Warrensville in April. May came, and he was trying to like get back, talk, and all this and that. So okay, whatever. We would talk on the phone. Again, he got caught up again in the situation with another female, and it was just like.
Did he move in with you there, or?
Yeah and no.
Okay. Yeah.
It was like. It was his birthday, and we had got married for his birthday in 2015. Okay. So it's his birthday, and he had came over, and his phone was on the thing ringing, but he was drunk, so he didn't hear it. Mm-hmm. So it just kept ring. So I got up and answered. It's a female. Where's such and such at? So I go, oh, you right here. She's like, oh, well, put him on the phone. Oh, okay. Because at this point, I'm just done. Like, I'm tired. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You used to it.
Yeah. So by this time, he heard me on that side, he jumped up. But I ain't fucking her. Mm-hmm. Well, why would that be the first thing you say out your mouth?
Right. Exactly.
Again, it was somebody that I knew. So, wow. It was just like...
just not to stop you, but... Like I was saying this in my story, when we going through stuff like this, like after the incident that I had, it's like people don't understand why you go back. Yeah. You know what I mean? They don't understand. It's like because you so confused in the inside. Yeah. Because this is somebody that you love. Right. And that you trust that love you. Right. And we make those excuses just like we ignore those red flags that we saw at the beginning. So people really don't understand. They probably said like, why? You know, you're so terrified. Why do you go back?
I just felt like it was, and I know it may sound crazy, but I always felt like it was safer to be with him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Sense. Because if I'm with you, I'm not going through, I'm going through bullshit, but not to the extent where you trying to hurt me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because again, it was never physical. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I felt like being with him was almost safer.
It makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? Because what me not being with him, he literally harassed my life. Mm-hmm. Like, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. Like, it was bad. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, that's my story. That's my reasoning. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I know everybody has
explain that. Yeah. Because I'm sure that's going to be a question.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. For me, that was my thing. But yeah, he jumped up and seen, and I just gave him the phone. Mm-hmm. And so he knew it was the end. He knew. Because any other time it's a whole song and a dance. Mm-hmm. This time it wasn't. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I just literally told him like
you was tired and it was kind of
I just literally told him like, find you somewhere to go. Mm-hmm. I'm done. Mm-hmm. And I got in the bed and went back to sleep. Mm-hmm. The next day, I got up, went to work. He went to work. He called my phone. When I was getting off work, he called my phone. I deleted the app off my phone. I don't want to hear that. Mm-hmm. Because we always go through that. Mm-hmm. Every time he get caught up in some BS on social media, I deleted it, and here we go again.
Plenty of fish, Facebook.
Here we go again. Oh, God. So it was like, I don't want to hear that. Like, so that was Friday. I deleted it off my phone. I'm like, I don't care. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm done. Mm-hmm. Just find somewhere to go. Mm-hmm. So he just went on talking. I wasn't on it though. So we ended up hanging up. I didn't talk to him and see him no more that whole day. 1 o'clock in the morning, he got the call on my phone. And I'm just like, here we go. But this is his norm. This is what he do. So at first I was ignoring him, but he just persistently kept calling. So I answered. Why you ain't answering the phone? Cause it's 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm asleep. So then he say, well, you don't gotta go to work tomorrow. That don't mean I'm finna be up at 1 o'clock in the morning talking to you on the phone either. So he just was like, well, I'm about to come there. So I'm like, okay. Like, all right. So then he was mad. And it was so crazy because he was the type of person, he would get mad at me if I didn't believe his lies. He would get mad at me if I didn't respond back to his lies and his anger in a certain way. He was just like, I'm finna come there. So I'm like, okay. So he like, then that's when the name calling started. That was his famous thing, to always call me out my name and talk crazy. I'm talking about the stuff he said his mouth to me would be just like, dude, what? Like, he tore me down, like, not just as a person, as a woman. Like, he tore me down. He started with the name calling. So I'm just like, you know what? I ain't doing this. I hung up. He would call back. And again, like, I wouldn't answer, but he would persistently keep calling. So I didn't really want it to escalate. You know what I'm saying? So I would answer. And he would, bitch this and bitch that and you. And I'm just telling him, like, I ain't doing this with you tonight.
Like, cause you know, sober mind to talk to people like that. That's just.
Yes.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. So I hung up again. So then I called my friend on the phone because she worked third shift, so I knew she was up. So I called her, me and her on the phone. We talking. I'm telling her what happened, what's going on. And and by this time I went into the living room. And I had, like, you know, the patio door thing. So I'm looking because I knew he was about to be on some bullshit. I'm looking and I got the gun out. I just knew, like, I had a feeling it was about to be some bullshit.
My heart beats.
So, I'm talking to her on the phone, and I'm in the living room, and she telling me, you know, about her problems that she going through with her little friend or whatever. And not knowing to me or her that he's standing at the door this whole time listening. Now I knew, again, like, I knew it was about to be some BS, so I took one of my little couches and pushed it, you know, to the door. Because I'm just like, it's about to be some bullshit. Like, I ain't on it.
Did you tell her that, or she didn't know? She just was...
No, she didn't know.
Yeah.
She, you know, me and her just talking. So, and, like, the couches that I had, like, they reclined, like, both the seats reclined, so it was kind of heavy. He kicked the door in with so much force that the couch just flung. And I jumped up like, what? So she hear me yelling, so she screaming like, what's going on? So I'm telling her, like, when I'm about to call you back, I'm about to call 911. So he see me trying to, so I on the counter. So I grab it and I run to the back. I try to get to the bedroom so I can at least lock myself into the bedroom to call 911. But I didn't make it, like, all the way to the bedroom. Like, the bedroom was here, the bathroom was here. So he bum rushed me into the bathroom. And I could just remember, I don't even know how he got, like, I got on my back and he was on top of me. I had my phone in this hand and I had the gun. And, like, my bathroom, the way it was made, it was like the cabinet, then it was like an opening. And we was like between the little cabinet in the toilet.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And so I'm like, the only thing going through my mind is like, if he get this, he gonna kill me. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all. Mm-hmm. I never even knew he had a knife. Mm. I never even knew. I never seen it until like it was almost too late. Mm-hmm. He was just on top of me screaming that he was gonna kill me. And I could just remember, I didn't even think about the knife or him trying to, like, he literally was on me and I'm like this, but he literally was on me trying to cut my throat with the knife. And I went, like, again, I didn't think about the knife, I didn't see it. Only thing I could think about was not let him get, because I knew if he got, I'm dead. So I just kept my arm up, just fought so hard for him not to get to my throat. Mm-hmm. And he just kept telling me that he was gonna kill me. Mm-hmm. And I just kept thinking, I can't, like, I got too much to live for to just let you kill me. Mm-hmm. So I kept my arm up. I never even knew he cut me. Mm-hmm. I never knew he cut me. He took my phone out my hand. He knew he cut me, but I didn't know. Mm-hmm. He took my phone out my hand. He jumped up. He ran out the bathroom. And I'm thinking, like, he finna come back. So I lay there for a second, not even knowing that my face is cut. Mm-hmm. So I laid there and I heard the door. So I jumped up. And once I jumped up, blood just went everywhere. Mm-hmm. Like, all over the bathroom. Mm-hmm. And that's when I realized I was cut. Mm-hmm. My face, this was literally just hanging.
Oh, wow.
That's how, like, he literally sliced me from here to here. This was just hanging. And I'm just like, I didn't know what to do. Like, I panicked. My anxiety was on 1,000. I panicked. Mm-hmm. I didn't have a phone. He took the phone. I had no way to call 911. I had no way to call nobody.
Oh, he took your phone.
He took it. So I ran to the front of the apartment and I ran out the building, out my door. I stayed in the apartment. I ran out the door and I'm just banging on people's doors. Banging. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning by now. I'm just banging on people's doors. Nobody will open their door. Nobody. Mm-hmm. In the whole building. Mm-hmm. And the one girl, I knew she was at the door. So I'm just telling her, like, you don't even have to open the door. Like, just please call 911.
Somebody, yes.
Like, please just call 911. Like, I'm bleeding everywhere. Nothing.
And I'm sure they heard the screams and just everything. Yeah. And people be so scared, but at least call 911.
Yeah, and I told her, like, you don't have to open your door. Like, just please call 911. I got nothing. So now I'm starting to get lightheaded because I was bleeding so much. So I went back into my apartment and grabbed a rag. Tried to hold it on my face to, slow the bleeding down. Mm-hmm. That didn't work. It just soaked the rag right up. So then I'm panicking again because what am I finna do? Like, I didn't have a phone. He took the phone. So I had an iPad, and I remember my iPad had its own internet service. Mm-hmm. I literally had to call my baby on FaceTime to tell her to call 911.
Oh God!
Because he had cut me, and she like, what happened? What's going on? And I couldn't even get it out to explain to her, like, what had happened. Mm-hmm. I just needed her to call 911 because I literally thought I was about to die in there. So, he ended up coming back around to the apartment.
He came back?
Yeah.
I don't know if I remember you telling me that.
He came back, and I had he come in here, I'm going to shoot him. Like, mm-hmm. I'm not finna let you hurt me again.
Right.
But he ended up coming and throwing my phone up on the porch. And all I hear is my friend screaming through the phone.
Wow.
Yelling my name. So he told her that he cut my throat.
Wow.
He told her that he cut my throat. So she don't live, she lived like 30 minutes from here.
Wow.
So she don't know what's going on because he got the phone and then told her that he cut my throat.
Wow.
So, she's screaming. I opened the patio door. I grabbed the phone and all I could hear her just yelling and screaming. And so I got on the phone and she like, what is going on? She already in her car on her way here. So my mother, she didn't get in touch with my mother. Like, everybody knew by then. I had to end up making it down the stairs when the ambulance got there and the police to let them in because we didn't have like buzzards and that type of
How
building.
Did he get? You don't even know how he got in? Mm-mm. Wow.
So, but you know, those type of buildings, people prop them open or, you know, or what, however. So I ended up going down the stairs to let them in. And, it was just so crazy because the white officer was madder than the black officer was. Because the police got there first. And I couldn't even make it back up the stairs because I had started getting lightheaded again because I had lost so, like, I had on a black t-shirt. It was drenched. And he just telling me, like, you know, sit right here. Don't try to make it back upstairs. So the black officer, he gone upstairs into my apartment. I'm telling him, like, you know, I have a couch is loaded. And, you know, I have a CTW. The white officer, he was like, you know, I still was holding a rag there. And he like, you know, take the rag off so that I can assess. When I took the rag off, his face literally turned bloodshot red. He was livid. He just automatically was like, what's his name? What did he drive? What, you know, like he wanted his information ASAP. So I gave him all his information. The ambulance came. My friend lived 30 minutes away.
She was there.
She met me at the hospital. It took her all of 15 minutes to get here. She met me at the hospital. My kids met me at the hospital.
Oh no, they were so terrified.
They couldn't even treat me. They couldn't do nothing to me until the police came and took pictures. Wow. They couldn't stitch my face. They couldn't do nothing.
Yeah.
So the white officer came again. He was, I'm bad with names, so I don't remember his name, but he came and he had went in my house. He got my purse. He got my phone. He locked my door. He got my keys. And brought all my stuff, you know, my whole purse to the hospital. He like, I didn't know if you was gonna need, you know, none of this stuff, but here's your purse. He like, your phone in there, your keys in there. And I just was like, he like, we already got a warrant out for his arrest. Like, we're looking for him. And I was just like, I was in shock. Like, I just couldn't believe that this was literally happening to me. like again, like I said before, like I knew that it was gonna end bad, but I never knew it was gonna end that bad.
Yeah.
So they had to take pictures of my face. My daughter, like, she couldn't stay in there like during the whole ordeal.
Yeah.
Like she left out.
Mm-hmm.
I never in my life even had stitches.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
After he took the pictures.
I have, and that's painful what they have to do.
Yeah.
Like they have to clean it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's painful.
Yeah, it is. But before they would even let my kids back there, you know, my friend back there, the nurse was in there with me. Mm-hmm. And she was damn near literally in tears.
Yeah.
She just kept saying, like, I'm so sorry this happened to you. Mm-hmm. I'm so sorry this happened to you. And I remember her just kept holding my hand.
Yeah. And I was talking about that in my story, how embarrassing.
It is.
Like,
yes.
you just feel humiliated. You're in shock.
Yeah.
You just,
yeah.
You know.
And just imagine if I
would have
had
at the same hospital. I went to the same hospital after, you know, I was injured.
Yeah. So when the doctor came in to clean it and stitch it, I mean, I don't even remember. I was so in shock because she told my friend and my son a couple more inches and he would have killed her. Like, to just hear that, I just, like, blanked out. Like, if it weren't for my friend, I wouldn't even knew how many stitches I had in my face.
Yeah.
I had 21 stitches in my face.
Wow.
She literally had to. And again, I'm bad with names, so I don't remember the doctor name either. But she worked a miracle. Because this right here was literally just hanging. It was just there.
Yeah.
So she worked miracles when she stitched my face up. But I was just in shock after I heard her say that, because I'm just thinking to myself, it wasn't nobody in that bathroom with me but God.
God, that's it.
Because there's no way I could have. He 5'11", all of damn near 300 pounds. I'm 5'1", 220. Like, there's no way.
And God was fighting them.
Yes.
And it's a miracle that he didn't grab that.
Yeah.
A miracle.
And that's the only.
And he probably was such in a rage. He probably didn't even think about it. Yeah.
Nope. So after they stitched up my face, I had to get stitches. The tape stuff, I had to get both.
Yeah, they probably the inside and out. Yeah.
So when I was all over, and it was like I can't even tell you how it felt. Cause I don't even remember. Cause after she said a couple more inches, I didn't hear nothing else.
Yeah.
I remember them giving me like all this paperwork, like for domestic violence hotlines and all that stuff, and I was just thinking to myself, like, where do I go from here? You know what I'm saying? Cause he's still out there. Where do I go from here? I ended up going to my other daughter's house, and staying with her. And then that Sunday, a lady called me. Again, I don't want to say names.
Yeah.
But a lady called me. I don't even know the lady. And she was telling me that, you know, they had a program, and you know, did I need help, and I'm telling her, like, well, yeah, I have nowhere to go. Like,
it probably was the hospital. I'm thinking.
So it was a nurse that worked at the hospital called a social worker. That social worker knew somebody who, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say the program that I went through.
No, I wouldn't say that.
But when I say,
you told me it was wonderful. Yeah, it was God sent.
They if I would have needed them to, they would have came and got me. But I had my own car, so they told me where to meet them at. But I had to end up going to a safe house. I ended up in a safe house. And you know, like, to us, like, that don't even exist in real life. You know what I'm saying? Well, I know, like, at least for me, like, a safe house, like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, I never knew those existed.
Yeah, they exist. That's why I tell people to call those hotlines.
Yeah.
Because there are places, you know.
Yes, it is.
Not like what the first police told you to go to a shelter. No. They actually have places that's secret locations.
Yes, they do.
They can hide you.
Yes, they do.
Yes. And they have security there.
Yes.
They will definitely protect you.
Yes. And you, like, where it was at, I never would have thought that's what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had cameras. The people who lived on the street knew what was going on. Because I'm telling her, like, I'm scared. Like, I can't. Like, I'm scared. She like, you don't have nothing to worry about. She like, nobody is coming to this place. No harm. I do too.
Because I want to have that peace for people. Yeah. Because it's nothing like your peace.
It's not.
Ooh, your peace is everything.
Not. And when it's jeopardized or took from you,
it's horrible.
It's the worst feeling in the world. Yes. The worst feeling in the world. But I stayed in a safe house for, I want to say about 2 weeks, before they caught him. And I ended up going through, I started counseling in those 2 weeks with the same people. And to this day right now, I still go to that lady for counseling.
I go on a regular basis. When it first happened for me, I was going like once a week, every other week. Now I go once a month, but sometimes I need it twice a month. It just depends. And I even told my sister the other day, you know, you feel like you're healed, but you still deal with so much with just life, period, that I'm really thinking about starting it more. Than, you know, I have them.
When I went to counseling for 9 months. Almost a year. It was almost a year after everything happened, because I was just so mentally and physically destroyed. Like, I didn't know what to do, where to go. Like, I was done. I'm not mad at nobody. I don't hold nothing against him. I'm not even mad at him. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew after, you know, going to counseling that in order for me to move on with my life and me to heal, even begin to heal, I had to forgive him. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't for him, it was for me. You know what I'm saying? Because if I was going to sit there and wait for an apology, I was never going to get it.
Yes.
And even if I got it, how sincere was it going to be? You know what I'm saying? So, I knew, like, in order to even begin my healing process, I had to let it go and I had to forgive him. But first and foremost, I had to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Because again, like I said in the beginning, I was always the type of person that just move, keep it going, keep moving. But I knew this situation was something that I couldn't just get up and move from, because I was just so destroyed and broken from it. I couldn't move. What I can say is I did have a very strong support system, you know,
that's great.
From my, you know, I didn't have it going through the situation, but after my kids, my grandkids, my mom, you know, my friend, like, I had
that's a blessing.
A very good, like, they didn't leave my side. You know what I'm saying? They was there. You know what I'm saying? And it was so many nights that I cried myself to sleep without them even knowing. I was so depressed in a dark hole. But I also knew that in order to heal, I had to get myself up. I had to pull myself out of that hole. Because I just felt like if I allow somebody else to do it, then I'm allowing somebody else to have that same power over me.
He's still winning.
He's still winning.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I couldn't allow nobody to, pull me out of that hole per se. I did it on my own. It was a hard task to do.
Yes.
But I knew initially that I had to do it myself. I had to, because that was the only way that I was going to fully be healed. I'm not fully healed even to this day, and that happened in 2019. Yeah. But I knew even to begin a road of a good recovery, I had to do it myself.
Yeah. You just got to get up and keep going, like we always do.
Yeah. And like it was a tough road. It was tough. Like without that, I will almost say the name.
But I remember when you told me, you was just talking about the place and just like how it was wonderful.
It was,
and I was just so happy that you had that, because I was so scared for you. Like when you called me, I just broke down in the inside because I just listened to your story and it just made me think about what my best friend went through in her last moments. And it was just like, I couldn't believe it. Like, I couldn't believe it when you called me, and I was so happy you called me, but it just took me back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was so happy you called me, and I was so happy that you told me you had that place. But I remember you were still going through court, and it wasn't done,
Right.
And I was just so worried for you, and so scared for you, because I know that had to be just a lot,
The court thing was not that the wound was closed, but it was just like throwing salt into, into the
I remember you just telling me some of the stuff that was going on.
Yeah,
and just
because
like,
he was literally finna try to take the whole thing to trial. Like he was sending messages.
And that's how you know they're not sorry. Because when they do that kind of stupidity.
He was going to try to take the whole thing to trial, and just that alone scared me. Like I had a whole anxiety attacks on a regular.
Yes.
I can remember having one because somebody was trying to get him out of jail.
I remember
he had two different
you told me
different bonds.
Yeah. Yes. Y'all remember you calling me, and I said, what? Like, there's no way they gonna let him out of there.
Yeah. He had two different bonds. The bond for what he actually did, and then the bond for Cleveland. He had a bond for Warrensville, and he had a bond for Cleveland from the restraining order. So the bond for Cleveland, they dropped it. They, they let it go. But the one for Warrensville was still there. And this person was gonna try to get him out.
Which is so crazy.
Yeah. So,
so
I remember calling my counselor having a whole anxiety attack. And she like, do I need to send somebody to get you? Did he get out? Did he pose my? And she's, when I say wonderful.
I know. I talk about my counselor all the time.
I tell her all the time, like, I don't know where I would be.
Yes.
Like,
and I tell people, counseling, people think counseling is because you're crazy, you got all, everybody got something, but you need that outside voice to direct you, because family, your best friends, they gonna give you advice, but it's nothing like somebody on the outside looking in that can tell you that's not biased, that doesn't know you.
Because when your family and friends do it, it's coming from an emotional space.
Yes.
And everybody know you just move different on emotion.
Yes.
You just do.
Yes. So counseling definitely is something that is much needed, especially when you go through something so traumatic.
It is.
Because I don't know if I would have made it without counseling.
Me either.
I really
wouldn't have.
Like, I was at the point, like, I couldn't even sleep alone. Like, after that happened, I went to my other best friend's house, and, like, they literally, her and her husband, she was be downstairs sleeping with me on the couch, and they had the bed pulled up. I couldn't even. Somebody had to be by me. Like I couldn't even be by myself.
Yeah,
I was in the bed with my kids. They was like, this getting ridiculous. I went over my daughter's house one day. I was moving from house to house. I never went back to my house because he was still loose.
Yeah.
And my best friend was just at my house the day before.
Right.
So it was just, I couldn't go there. So I was going from house to house. And one day I went over my daughter's house and was in her bed, and I woke up. I said, "This is a nice apartment." Next thing I know, I moved across the hall. She was like, "Lord have mercy."
Yeah, it do be like I went through such a traumatic thing that they diagnosed me with PTSD.
Yes, me too.
I couldn't be in a house by myself. I couldn't be, and I had to like that apartment, I couldn't stay there.
Yeah, like no way. No way.
So my son and my nephew stayed with me. They didn't leave.
Yeah.
If I needed to go to the store, they was with me. And for so long, I didn't even want to go outside because of the scar on my face.
Yeah.
I didn't go outside. I didn't go to functions.
Yes.
I didn't do nothing.
Yes. And when I asked Kisha to come on, I asked her, I said, "You don't even have to be on camera." She said, "No, I want them to see the scar."
Yeah, I do.
You know, and I just thought that was so powerful when you said that.
Because I just want them to understand, you can go through a situation and you can also get through a situation.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. Just because you went through something don't mean that's the end.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You can still get up and move on and go on with your life and be okay.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I don't never want nobody to think because you go through a situation that's the end.
Mm-hmm. It's not.
That's not the end.
It's part of your journey.
It's part of your.
It's part of your story, and it's part of our purpose. I always sit there I don't know what my purpose is, but I think the trauma that I have been through in my life. This is my purpose. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's why I told you. I just think this is the beginning of both of us healing in a different way than just trying to cope and just push through. We both pushing through, but that trauma will never go anywhere. No. It's never gonna go.
It just hits you so different. It's almost heart-wrenching.
Yes.
When you see stories and
when you see it takes you back to everything you done been through. So it's it never goes anywhere. No. We smile. And I was telling them, people always tell me you don't look like what you've been through. But we know how to put that smile on our face and keep going.
Absolutely.
Even when you feel like shit in the inside,
I went, that happened to me Saturday. I went to work on Monday. I went to work on Monday.
How?
I don't know.
I think I was off work for 2 months, 3. I don't even know. It was hard for me to go back.
I went to work on Monday. I just I don't know.
You was in shock still, I think.
Yeah.
And we just on that we gotta take care of our family.
Yeah.
No matter what, because that's what we do.
That's what we do. My one coworker who became a friend after that. But she asked me what happened. And it was I couldn't even lie to her. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't say nothing different than what happened. And it was I just broke down right there in the office.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
And she you need to go home.
Yeah. Yes. Definitely.
She you shouldn't even be here.
No.
Why is you here? And I'm just I don't know.
You don't know.
It was just a blur.
I
don't even know how or why I went to work. My mind was just
I bet.
Just blank.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I literally didn't know what to do next. I didn't know.
How much time did they give him?
So he ended up getting 14 years.
Okay, which is not long enough.
And it's not.
But will you be able to contest for him not to get out in those 14?
Yeah, when it comes to the time being up, because he got that time, but he can't even file for parole. So he have to do flat time.
Okay, so he have
that's
how her husband is.
Yeah.
He got 20.
Yeah.
But of course we all gonna be there like no, ain't no way.
Yeah, so he got 14 years, and the judge was, and I wrote, and like I advocated for myself. You know, when that whole ordeal, the court stuff was going on, I wrote a letter, and I personally went downtown and took it to the judge bailiff. I took it to the head, Michael O'Connor. I took it to him. Like,
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? When the court day came, I had my family there. My family was there. Like, I was so scared.
I know you
for that court date. I was terrified.
Yeah.
My counselor, she couldn't be there with me, but she sent somebody.
Yeah.
To be there with me. And it's nothing like having people there with you. You know, when you have to go to those type of things.
Yeah. And that just reminded me when you talked about thinking about trial. Like, we were so, like, the fact that we was gonna have to get on the stand and relive that night. Like, that just sent me into a whole nother thing. But he ended up pleading guilty 2 days before court.
But
then recanted. He recanted like a week later, said that he was out of his mind or something. So they sent him to a psych ward, but caught him on the phone, talking to his mom.
Yeah, and so that was part of the evidence too. Not only did he leave the knife in the apartment with only his fingerprints on it, because it was a new knife. I never had even touched it.
Right.
He left the knife in the apartment. He dropped it, and he because he was still calling my phone after he did it.
Wow.
He was still calling my phone, so-called apologizing, trying to act like he didn't know what happened. He didn't cut me, and he even went so far as to tell my mother he didn't cut me. I cut myself.
Wow.
Yeah. So he called my phone so much, and you know, he was the type of person, if you didn't give in to his apologies and all, then that's when the threatening and all that stuff started. So I actually recorded him telling me that that he would kill me and then kill himself because he ain't had nothing to live for. And I forwarded it right to that prosecutor, like, listen here. The court, that judge was livid. So I even not only did I write a letter to the judge, I also wrote my own letter that I wanted to read in court. So the judge was like, I understand that you wrote a letter to me. He is it okay that I read it, in court for the public record? Sure can. And then he's like, I also understand you have a letter that you personally want to read. And I said, yeah. So, the counselor that went up there with me, like, she stood right there with me, like, she closed me off from him.
Yeah, that's what they did with me.
So he couldn't see me, or he couldn't, like, try to place fear. And that judge was like, I clearly can see the scar that she had to live with for the rest of her life sitting from where I'm sitting. And all this dummy could say is he had an alcohol problem, which was a lie.
Right.
And the judge asked him, did he have anything to say for himself? He told the judge no.
So he's not remorseful at all.
But then his public defender got up there and talk about something. My client is sorry.
Of course, that's what they always
do. That's what y'all. Yeah. And I'm just looking
they be feeling so stupid even standing saying this dumb stuff that they're saying. Because they know it's a lie. I couldn't even have a job like that. I couldn't.
And the judge, like I said, the judge was so livid. Like, he literally stopped the court proceeding to make them look up his charges to make sure. And he kept telling them, like, I'm sentencing you by the law. Which means, bitch, I really want to give you way more time.
and that's the thing. Like, how do you get 14 years? To me, you should get life.
And then I didn't understand how they didn't charge him with attempted murder.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What did they charge him with?
Assault, 2 cases of assault, intimidating a witness. He had a whole slew of charges, but he pleaded out. So he was it, you know, that knocked some of the charges off. I can't even remember all of them, but I know those was the main ones.
And I think these laws that need to change because so many of these people get back out, get with other women, and do the same thing, you know, because they not knowing what they getting their hands into, you know.
And then the judge also told him, if he get into any trouble during those 14 years, he automatically gonna do 4 extra years.
So where do you go from here? So like, what's your next steps? I don't know, you know, before we end, I want to kind of touch on you saying about your book, that you wrote a book.
So I did, after the whole ordeal and I started my healing process, I did write a book. But you know, the people who, like, mainly only my family know how poetic I am when it comes to like writing out of rote poems. And
I never knew that about you.
Yeah, I'm very
and that's a blessing.
So I did write a book. I don't have a name per se for it yet.
It'll come to you.
I do have to finish like the ending part of it. I also already have somebody that's gonna publish it for me.
Wait. We ain't gonna put you on blast. But I know who you are. Yes, a very good friend of us, ours that does. He code. He do everything.
So it took a lot for me to write that book, because it was like I had to literally place myself back in each situation that I wrote about in that book to write it. Like I spent nights up crying, and like I never, like, my kids had already been through so, and like again, my kids are all grown, so you know what I'm saying, but they're still my babies. I'm still my kids. So I never want them to see me sitting around crying. You know what I'm saying? Especially my son.
Many nights you cry alone.
So writing that book, it was many nights I sat up crying writing that book. Because I literally had to place myself back there. To even write the book, I had to do that. So I do want to share at least my introduction.
Do that.
To the book. Again, I don't have a name. Excuse me, y'all, because I'm blind.
You named my readers didn't help you.
The thing a lot of people probably didn't know either is that after everything happened, I changed my name.
Did you?
I did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I kind of don't want to say it.
No, please don't.
Because I had my reasons. I didn't want him to be able to look me up.
Okay. But your name, social media.
Yeah, it's still the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I know that's the first place.
Okay. All right.
So So allow me to introduce myself. Lakeisha. I'm sorry. I mean, and I changed my name, but what I changed it to means trustworthy, faithful, reliable, protected. Yeah, that fits me better. And I'm a survivor. On May 18, 2019, I was blessed enough to walk away with my life full of color. See, on the outside looking in, it was hard to understand. And from the inside looking out, it was hard to explain. My life was so black and white. I was depressed. My self-esteem was extremely low. But from the outside, you would never have been able to tell. But on the inside, I was a mess. I was who I was until who I was almost cost me my life. I fought with demons I knew nothing about, and I lost every time. Hell, I was lost for a very long time. So lost I didn't even know how to get back. I didn't even know how to find my way back. After a while, I gave up trying. I was lost and nobody understood me. Shit, I didn't even understand me. I could not figure out how I got to where I was or how to get back. I kept it to myself because how do you explain or try to explain to the people who love you the most, who look up to you, who always need you to be strong, that you're not strong at all. You're just living lost and don't have a clue how to get back. See, my role always required me to be strong until I learned I wasn't being strong at all. I was simply surviving, continuing to exist, remaining intact. I was always one to put everybody before myself until I learned that self-love is more important than anything. I learned that in order to love anybody, I first had to learn to love myself. I had to learn to put me first. I had to learn to walk away from things that's not good for me. Far as for as far back as I can remember, pain was all I saw, pain was all I knew. So I thought pain was normal. So I survived off of pain. I thought pain was love until the pain of my love almost cost me my life. See, I was the one who always gave and not expected to receive. The one who came when called. The one who always tried to see the good in people, even if there was none to see. I always gave people more time in my life than they deserved. Until this time, I had to evict someone out of my life without serving a 3-day notice. So
I love that.
That's my introduction.
And that is speaks volume of. I think I felt myself in there. That was it.
Yes, that's the introduction to the book.
Yes. Well, I can't wait. I can't wait for it. And somebody told me when I was coming from Memphis, my Uber driver, I kind of gave him like a brief synopsis of my life. And he told me, you should write a short book.
Yeah.
And I was like, a book? He was like, yes. Yeah. You should do it.
I definitely
I'm so glad you did that.
And maybe I come back when we
definitely.
do another one.
Oh, you definitely coming back. I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy, friend. I love you so much. Oh my God. I'm just so thankful that you're here. I'm thankful that you survived.
Yes.
Your story is just, I'm telling you, it's gonna heal so many people that have that same story and don't know what to do. Don't know about safe houses. They don't know what to do. So I'm just happy that you came. You was vulnerable, told your story, and I just love you. Come back anytime.
Yes,
we still got work to do. We gonna figure something out, especially the safe house order. We gonna figure something out how we can help people. So I just please leave some comments down below for Kisha. Please be very respectful, to this situation. And, because sometimes people can get, people we don't know them behind the scenes. So but usually my purple gang is very well. So, they gonna get them in the comments. It's an issue. So, but I love y'all. Make sure y'all like, comment. Please share this out. And Kisha will be back.
Yes, I will.
Okay, let's cheers to that.
Yes.
My counselor, told me to think I was asking her because I had a counseling session a couple days before we was to tape, and she told me to ask you how you was gonna take care of yourself after this. And I didn't ask you that, but when she said that, I thought about it. I wanted to make you a self-care bag to help you take care of yourself when you leave here. So I just prepared that for you. And look, it got the lashes on the I thought about you. So you don't have to open it on here. I just want them to see you give it to. I want them because I did a vlog before this, so I kind of showed them what I put in the bag already. So y'all can go back and watch that vlog to see what's in the bag. But yes, I at least wanted to give it to you so that I want you to take care of yourself.